is it that in the United States, where we claim the privilege of free speech, why are we here today to protest the media, the mainstream media?
Well, the mainstream corporate media has played a central role in generating support for Israel's genocide after October 7th by lying and exaggerating about what took place on October 7th and in whitewashing the genocide that continued for 21 months afterwards. And now they're finally starting to recognize that Israel is starving the population as part of its final solution. But that's not enough for those of us who've been paying attention. The support for Israel has completely dropped off in the United States. Everybody is seeing what is happening, and the corporate media is still burying this story. So this is about putting pressure at the heart of the problem and holding them responsible for their legacy, which is manufacturing consent for genocide. Well, the Israel lobby has always had an apparatus to pressure the corporate mainstream media into following their line no matter what. And what they used was financial pressure, personal pressure, and they were often forcing them into line with lies and to cover up atrocities. What we're doing is we're appealing to the conscience of reporters, the average person working in the newsroom. I just spoke to someone coming out of a newsroom right there who's asking how can we improve our coverage. And we have the public on our side. The public has been watching a live stream genocide. The public is paying attention to independent media organizations like the Gray Zone and increasingly to counter-hegemonic news organizations like Al Mayadeen. So we're appealing to something that I think is much more powerful than the elite financial pressure, which is what Rupert Murdoch's organizations at Fox News and the Wall Street Journal respond to. And finally, I think what we're doing is exposing the lack of democracy in our society, where the whole public is with us, or most of the public is with us, and yet the president is criminalizing people who speak out on this issue, canceling disaster funds to states where companies boycott Israel, even wrecking the U.S. economy, canceling trade with its largest trading partner in Canada because they're recognizing a Palestinian state. This is exposing the lack of democracy and the elite Zionist control over our institutions. So what we're witnessing behind us is part of a much broader, popular, democratic rebellion in the West. When I started the Gray Zone, it was an independent outlier. I just launched it on a WordPress site, set up a Patreon, and people started coming in, but we were being attacked so heavily. Now we represent increasingly the voice of the public. We've been proven right on so many issues, not just Palestine, but also Syria, Ukraine, so many of the psyops that we've been exposed to. The public does not have an appetite, whether it's left-wing or right-wing, for more foreign interventions. And so I think we've been ahead of the curve, and more outlets that brand themselves as independent or major broadcast personalities like Tucker Carlson are following the path that we have set. But there have always been courageous journalists and activists that have existed outside the mainstream culture in our society that are revered figures, and we have learned from them. So we're carrying on a very long American tradition that goes all the way, we think, back to the abolitionists.
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you for being on the scene.